This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Warren Planning Board, October 28th. Starting at 6:30. Ashley Medeiros has an excused absence. The conference of action in their stead. If you can just say your names for the roll call first. Rick Benton.
Karen Delaware.
Fred Massey. Mark Dever. Kennedy.
Jenny Fleming.
We received the minutes from Melissa.
I have a couple of corrections which I gave to her, correcting the spelling of my name, but also on the second page, there was a missing 2 for the lot area.
Okay. Also, Mike Gerhardt went with us. I think it was just Mike's last name. Gerhardt.
Okay, the full name.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's original.
Okay.
So why not?
All right. Going with it.
Okay, today our focus is going to be on applications for, first we'll handle the Kickamuck Middle School, 525 Charles Street, lot 19, lot 27, and 70 master plan application. This is a public hearing. In both cases, actually, number 2, the 2 elementary both have to do with reconfiguration of parking areas and so. Before we get there, let's have a vote to approve the minutes as amended. Mike, second, Tyler, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I don't know quite how you want to handle this, you want to handle them separately or together. I mean, I think it makes sense to handle them one at a time and taking in middle school. We'll do that first. Do you have a PowerPoint or is it? We have a report. Okay, great. We've all received the addition, the initial information. Relative to this is the master plan. This will go through a preliminary plan as well.
So thank you. My name is David Potter from Tar Corporation, professional engineer in Rhode Island. I am the civil engineer who stamped the plans. We also have with us today Annalise Boylan from our office who did a lot of work on these plans. We have folks from a number of different organizations. First and foremost, the client representative here, Danielle from the Bristol Warren Regional School District. We have Lisa from the Perkins Eastman, the architectural team. We have 2 gentlemen here, Walter from EMA Consultants, and Nick, that's right, Nick, from also from EMA. And we also have Adam here from the school. We have a number of people here to be able to answer any questions you might have on the project. As you mentioned, this is a primarily reconstruction or reconfiguration of the parking areas, which is an issue that plagued the town and the school department for quite some time. They're looking to help provide a better parking lot to the south of the school. So I'll look at those improvements. I'll start with these conditions, proposed conditions, and then take any questions. But if I'm going through the presentation, if you have anything you want to ask, feel free to jump in. I hope I cover everything right.
Are you going to go over the current conditions that led to this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll describe the existing condition first and sort of explain some of the issues that we have out there now, and then talk about what we're doing to help remedy them. And as you mentioned, I appreciate you mentioned that this is that master plan. So we have had we've had several conversations with TRC. Matt Ball has been a big help. The planner before he left was also a big help in getting feedback about ideas and ways to try to improve the sites. So we met with the TRC, I think unofficially a few times in the fall, virtually, and then we had our official TRC meeting just a few weeks ago in October. So it's We're looking for a fire hydrant that's close to the door here, the southern door. So we're currently showing on the latest plans, a hydrant right here. It's still being worked out how we connect that to the water system. There's no water main in Depot Road. But we're gonna continue working with the county water, and with the fire department to figure out how to make that. The funding to go down.
There's currently a hydrant on Orchard Avenue, but it's beyond the wall, correct?
I think it's further upwards. It's too far away to qualify to go there. So, I'll have to check where it's going with that. So with that, I welcome three questions.
Yeah, we took a map and I watched the line run, and right now it's chaos. Buses and cars are coming in on each other. The fact that nobody has been injured is just good luck. So, that's it. Because there's no separation, because people can pull in anywhere, it's a scary situation. So the reason for this is, first and foremost, the safety of the students who are in school. That's one element. Do you have any idea of the number of students who use the buses versus the number of students that parents are driving into school?
I don't have current numbers for the school year, for this school year, but I don't know if that's something that the school covers by now. Buses versus student drop off pickup. That's something we could do.
Yeah, because that is, clearly, we're seeing a lot of buses come in here, large buses that are sometimes not even half full. And at the same time, there's a tremendous amount of traffic on South Street in the morning and the afternoon. Parents dropping them off or picking them up, which is another factor in this issue. What are, that I think is important to take a look at and encourage children to do as well. There are, that's buses.
Yeah.
And then these big buses are coming in half full, and cars are jamming up traffic 2 times during the day. We've got an issue that we have a solution to, but it's not being taken. So, having that information is helpful, larger scale, not so much. For the school department will also be moving into more.
Maybe we're moving into Hugh Cole.
Okay, they'll be moving into big fall.
Yeah.
So, and that will, the 200 students who are coming out of the poll, will that open up space, or is it going to be?
I'm not sure if it's 200 students coming out of Hugh Cole to the elementary school in the system, but I could ask Lisa that.
So the fifth graders, from business architect project. So basically the fifth graders from the, formerly the Bear School, from, Old Andrew School, from Rockwell, and from Ducal will all go to.
Oh, so that's the total 200 is.
That's what that actually ended up doing was actually, the second, fourth, fifth grade classes at Ducal, and people already had some open space in it. There was a lot of unused space in Ducal, which allowed for the district admin to move into that building and still have some, couple of fun spaces left in that school for, additional classrooms for new.
Okay, great. Yeah, now the question was, middle school, that was. It's not. You indicated that there were 2 waves of buses. Do you know how many buses are in each wave?
So right now we're projecting with the full capacity, you end up with 16 buses. That's the full capacity of the school.
For both waves?
No, the 60 buses total. So that area that we have up against the sidewalk right now, will handle 11 buses.
Okay.
So we would have 11 buses from here out to here, and 40 feet long, about 40 to 40. And then we would have 5 buses parked in this aisle right here. And then they would just be waiting, no one loads on them, until these buses move out of the way. And then they can pull up, probably pull about here, and fit all 5 of those buses right there. That's it.
Now that space that has a concrete divider, you indicated that that's a walkway, right there. Yeah.
Yes.
Between the two.
So we had this, this will be all concrete sidewalk. This will be raised, so there'll be no curb cut here and here. The idea is that this is all one pedestrian dominated path right in here. And, this is why that looks, it's very thin on this drawing, but I can get you dimensions on it, but it is wide. To accommodate students on both sides. But this was a request of the fire department to make this mountable so that they could, if they ever needed to, an emergency, cut across that aisle. They will have access. We perform truck movements with the fire truck throughout the site, and they can get easily around this corner, around this whole lot. They can get in here, around this lot. So we see no issues with circulation for the fire truck, but they did request to be able to mount that curb like that. So we looked at making it a mountable raised crosswalk. But then they asked us to put like a portable sign on it, just so no one's gonna try to mount it during the school day. But again, it gives you the flexibility so that you have, to change things in the future.
This is a question for you. That road to the west. Which you're blocking off.
Yep.
Why not have that opportunity through that way, just use that west lot for the pickups? And not get involved with others at all.
I think the feedback that we heard was that the abutters who live in the residential neighborhood would prefer not to have that much traffic going in and out through their neighborhood. So
How much traffic? Yeah, someone about, so. Traffic.
Yeah.
There is, there's another issue as well, where policemen, pack the corner, we call them child, and Orchard would not have that. And you need a police presence there, the crossings are, can't handle the traffic. So there is an officer there at both morning and afternoon, directing traffic and maintaining flow. So you go have to only have one entrance in terms of, we don't have a rules off those. The school has a police officer.
Yes, they do.
Can you take care of that?
There is one resource officer.
Couldn't take care of the roads.
Yeah, I don't know his responsibility.
That will be the best, and they don't have to report it to the president as well. And then we usually-
Might get a lot of this recording.
I couldn't hear that anyway. I'm sorry.
So you would have to come forward, please.
Thank you.
So we have
We just have that.
Danielle Perry, CFO of the festival plan. So we do have a school resource officer from the Warren Police Department that works in that school.
Right, because I'm not, I think the question Rick is asking is exactly what person the nonprofit is as well. I'm not sure that could be the case. If it's 7 o'clock, we need to go, so there. Still on duty. Not duty when the school's off. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think that's outside.
Mr. Chair, I think, the question that is being asked, can't be answered because of contractual responsibilities of the related to each position. In terms of whether or not police officer can have that particular task, or safety officer, et cetera. So I don't think that now.
Does that fall within the jurisdiction?
Jurisdiction of the law police officer, yes, correct, not part of jurisdiction. Of duty responsibilities, and I don't think they have.
Well, This is not part of the orchard now, is a problem, right now. That's another problem that we're doing, is that people are leaving the school, coming in that way, they're driving through fast, through a residential zone. You don't want necessarily to use this as a regular entrance and egress to the school. It's moot whether or not you get a police officer there, because that, I think there would be an uprising on the part of the Orchard Street. Now, that doesn't mean that it couldn't be used at times other than the street. If there's a chain there and there's athletic event, you don't have the same kind of timing for cars coming in and out. The fact that these look at or the large is always closed or whether it be open at a certain time. I don't know the answer to that. I think that falls on the shoulders of the chief of police and fire chief as well. The trench drain that you mentioned, we already, to my understanding, are experiencing some flooding in athletic fields to the south of the parking lot. And I'm sure that this whole thing was designed well before the concern for runoff was a factor, but clearly that area is going to be inundated or flooded to some degree in a large storm by the parking lot. I'd like to see a different drainage plan rather than simply using the existing trench, perhaps a swale that would catch it. I mean, right now there's a fence there, it's a metal fence. But I think that could be moved into the field or whatever delineated. But that, the concern is that this could create, and as you noted, there are some grades that will be even more extreme than we are now. That could lend itself to more water coming. So, as part of this project, I'd love to see a drainage plan that is more than simply the trench that exists there now, because I really don't think that that's going to stop.
And I think we agree with you to send all that water to one trench after that long stretch. So we actually didn't cover well in the presentation. Actually, we didn't it all together, but we are proposing to have catch basins in this corner here. So the water will still flow towards the edge of the parking area. We are proposing a curb over here, catch that water, and we'll grade it, direct it to catch basins here. So you will not be relying on those curtain drains, those trench drains, take all the water off from the parking area.
Now, would that also handle the snow that you're, because my understanding again is that all of the snow would come down there, clearly again, we're talking about water infiltrating on the outside field.
Well, the snow, the area we believe the DPW or the school department would want to plow down. And we would anticipate that, we can talk a little about this DOC, that during the snow seasons, there's a lot less use of these fields. So even having some snow storage up against this portion of the parking lot, it wouldn't be allowed to hinder any of the circulation, of course. But we have space on the southern part of the parking lot to handle that stormwater runoff. And we couldn't put that pack of snow on top of the catch basin. But it would be graded so that when that snow melts, that water would get to that catch basin without crossing the circulation path of the students and the parents and the
There's a turnout on the eastern side of the access road for the classroom. What's the matter with that?
Oh, up here on the eastern, yeah, that's gonna remain active.
What's to keep a parent from saying their child, oh, I'm not going around, look there, that turnout, but go around with the same place.
I think it would be enforcement. I don't know if the school has anything in there right now. You guys do keep students out of that zone. That curb cut on Eco Road leads to the school.
They're really are out there and staff are out there. So that's work.
So the staff will be present during,
Okay.
during the operations here. Currently, there are staff out there and then during the, trying to use that in.
So, this is gonna be quite a change in lots of people. I'm assuming you have some sort of a signage plan that will sort of clarify who's to go where and when, and that there'll be some education of the parents, is that in the reports?
Well, so signage, that's a great point. So for signage, we do try to make things as simple as possible. It's a good plan. If we don't have to too much explanation, it should be as self-explanatory as we can do. So what we will do is we'll have signage that indicates entrance only over here. So this will be always an entrance only. This first curb cut, and then this will be egress over. So this will have when you're in this parking lot, you won't be coming out this way. It'll be
So when it's in buses or cars or both?
And that, the intent is to kind of keep that circulation in everyone's mind. This is how we go out. So it's not going only between these hours, not only between these hours. So I think that parking lot easily accommodate that.
How about the right-hand turn on Orchard Avenue? You're going to prohibit that, huh?
Yes,
Keep the cars from taking that right-hand turn.
cars will not be coming down like that.
No, but I'm talking about cars that are going around and take a right one, but with the avenue.
No, just,
We'll have.
Well, but that, isn't there down the road? So I suggest some signage at the junction there that says no right turn or something like that.
onto Orchard,
Yeah.
from Charlie.
Yeah. No, from the
Parking lot.
circulation.
I don't think it's much of a distance that the city is pretty clear, you probably know, you'd be able to see them. As far as from the, as you go by the utility building.
We typically provide more signage, more details on signage in the preliminary plan stage, and that's something that we can provide, showing where we're gonna say, we'll have signage, there'll be signage that says buses only, pointing visitors to where they're supposed to go, and also.
But you will provide a sign.
We will provide a sign.
Thank you.
What we do for it.
Regarding that, probably, in the upper lot, when a non-bus is coming out, and you can go to somebody. I would go at times to the goal and after hours, so I would be taking the right out of that part in the upper room.
Yeah.
And people will be taking a left there.
Well,
Because they're right next to each other. People, most people take a left, and I'm trying to take a right. But
you'll have, I don't have the exact distance, but this should be a 24-foot curb cut, and this is a little bit wider than 24, so then you have a space in between, so you will have, it will be looking like two separate driveways, you're both coming onto a road.
Okay.
You're coming out and you're taking a right, someone's coming out and they're taking a left, it'd be just a normal
Right.
operation of traffic.
What, actually, when we did tourist, as you're coming off the bridge,
Yep.
there are, signs or arrows on the road. So essentially, you've got people taking a right, there's a right arrow, left arrow.
Yeah.
So you could have potentially 3 areas delineated by paint, the way it is in.
Oh, and actually, I see that it's 2 lanes in the other one anyway, so theoretically, you should be turning right back in. And
Yes.
it's living in that room, so I.
Again, I think that kind of paint, it certainly,
Yeah.
it works for tourists or, just over the second bridge. The same, we might consider, Matt and I talked about this on, Cole leaving Charles Street, that there would be a possibility of having some parents go off to the right. I mean, most everybody's gonna go to the left. You take a right, you get the Swansea, still, people could still take a right, go down, the extension of Long Lane, you know, onto, you know, and then circle around. So that could be another way of reducing traffic going down Charles Street, which is right now on. So again, on Charles Street, they're directing folks off to the right. You may ease up on some of the issues that have the Orchard Street, where people don't. So I'll then have to take a left. I have to take a left. I want to take traffic at the two lights. They're also. So I'd like to see that considered, both the Charles Street and then the.
We can certainly look at, you know, that type of delineation to separate lanes and have a left and a right turn only lane at these egress points. The intersection of Hugh Cole and Child Street is Rhode Island DOT jurisdiction, so that's their intersection. So we don't have the ability to change that without going forward.
Would you do that with the town?
Yeah.
I had one other, I don't know, in your estimates about traffic, when you reduce the number of people that typically now turn right on Orchard, going back and forth.
Okay.
And they would all be now going in at that one stop sign with it. Would that, is it significantly different?
We do have a traffic engineer. I don't think that because the nature of the project that we're sort of managing the traffic and then we're sort of changing, you know, there is an increase of students at this school and there was a decrease at the other school. We did not complete a full traffic analysis, impact analysis on the entire area. That's not something that was done. So I don't know. I don't have numbers to report as to how many trips we would see to that intersection, how many rights less we can have existing versus.
There is a sign, I think the sign indicating that.
So we did implement the sign last year that it was traffic during the conflict. Morning hours and afternoon hours is only for local travel. It has worked, and we also, Fred and I, on the show, we have another police officer that sits in the back of the parking lot to monitor the apartment hours that. Separate from the police officer in the front with other person that.
So that, I mean,
Yeah.
It's the plan to do this next summer, and it's going to be tough.
So there is, the plan is overall, I mean, we have PNA here, we talk more about the schedule. But I think in general, the idea is that the work would start next summer. There needs to be coordination with the athletic program. These lots are used all year long. So whatever program, whatever we start construction, we've already talked with TFC about coming up with a plan that minimizes the impact, considers the impact and how we can minimize it for the athletic users and then also for the school. So for the school, summer is the ideal time. Start on June 15th or whatever the last day of school is, and finish it up on August. But the athletic program will be in consideration for how we'll pay for it. We'll hope to have more of that detail at preliminary.
All the lot will be repaid.
All the lot here, the repainting will be what you see in the southern.
The full line and then we got,
Good question. So the western portion, we can mill and overlay that, so cold plane, and then put a 2-inch overlay on top. But the eastern portion, so this part where we're changing the grade and adding curve, we'll need to fully remove that pavement, modify the sub base, strengthen it, and then reduce the grade we need it, and put a new coat pavement on.
between the two lots, will be done at the same time, or we'll be able to use that left, one lot or the other.
I think the hope is to be able to use one, well, to leave some parking here, we leave some parking for athletics while work's happening. So, when the contract is bid, there'll be general requirements put on the contractor, the days of work, so many more spaces, and we have to, we work with the contractor to review the plan that they put forth. It's up to the contractor, this is exactly how you're gonna do it, we the means and methods to them. So we'll have to give them an idea of how many spaces we want available at any throughout the process, so that they can. Well, we can get a better idea of what that might look like. at the next stage.
Is this being financed through the school bond issue? Is that what's being paid for?
It is.
Okay.
Right. The, end to the parking, that's striped parking islands, it's not actually landscaped cut through the pavement area, correct?
That's correct. So we do have some, we wanted to add some greenery to the parking areas. So it's very, very, paved right now. So we are hoping to incorporate along, Eco Road. We have a sidewalk some of the curb cuts have already been done. That's part of the safety school project. We're gonna connect those with new sidewalk. We're gonna propose, an island with some greenery, behind that sidewalk. So when you're driving down the road, you see more green. And then we also have a few other islands where we'll have some opportunities to add some green. And then in this strip here, this where the students do walking, we're hoping to add some green there. So we're hoping that this kind of cuts up the parking lot a little and add some greenery. The reason these are the islands at the ends of the parking area are striped is one, for circulation, it helps with the turning movements of the fire vehicles. It also helps with the maintenance of the parking lot, to be able to just to remove the snow. It also, we will have, I didn't mention this also, we have lights that are being proposed in this parking lot. So right now, there's no lighting in the parking lot, it will be lit in the proposed condition. So we'll come back with a photometric plan, to show you where lights are and how many, and make sure that we can show you that there's no spillage onto the residential neighborhood. So we're trying to get those lights to also fit with some of these islands.
Is it possible to add, so I'm also on the tree canopy ad hoc committee for the town, and, you know, one of the places that came up as places that had trees is at the schools. And so if wherever, however many trees can get put in, would be fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, there might be opportunity out here as well, you know, some of these landscape areas.
And between the school and the parking lot, along the south side of the school there,
We can look at it, yeah.
I think.
So you'll provide a landscape plan as part of the program.
That's correct.
Another quick question. Is there any possibility of allowing, charging stations for staff people for electric cars?
So on this site, I don't believe that we have any EV stations proposed. Do we have conduit that's going in for, so we do have conduit that's gonna be installed for future implementation of EV.
So you're just gonna bring the conduits?
Yeah, to make those connections, so the EV parking will be provided later, you won't have to dig up sidewalks and dig up the. Yeah, so we'll have it in the light poles, which will still work out.
Thank you.
Okay, I think everyone's to, public. There is a motion to do that. I'll make that motion. Second. Rick, all in favor?
Hello, I'm Tara Thibodeau. I am the recreation director. And I want to echo what was said earlier. I appreciated all of the information. My issue is definitely the drainage, my number one issue for those fields. As you know, Tyler, they fill up with water, especially in the spring, especially when it's rainy season. And so and the drainage ditch or what the current one that was built in the 1950s, it doesn't work. And that was meant for the fields and not for the parking lot. So that's my biggest concern, and putting curbing in the sidewalk at the bottom, and I apologize because I couldn't see the presentation from the back. So I don't know exactly where
trails were going to be, or the catch basins? So those are gonna be right at the gate?
No, well, they'll be on the, if I may,
Yeah,
they'll be in the parking area. This will all be new curb along the southern of the parking area. This is proposed to be curb in front of the easternmost gate with the big islands. And then we have the drain here. So you're not walking over the river of drainage. You're on the high ground. And then there'll be another catch basin over here that'll take this one off.
And the capacity of those catch basins?
We typically size a catchment for 10 units long. So that's the typical standard.
Based on that square footage.
Based on the contributing area to the structure. Yeah, we haven't gotten that level of detail. Sometimes we can have to put in a double grade catch basin, two grades side by side. We'll work that.
So the curbing is going to deter the water to the catch basin?
It will direct it to the,
Okay.
direct it to the.
So-
It goes into, so there's an existing pipe that discharges to the west here.
So that's,
Discharges up that way.
so that's the question, because one, that pipe is from the 1950s, and two, we don't know where that goes to. So we don't know how well that works. So if the plan is to depend on that, that's my question. Because we can't depend on that now, and, so if that is what you guys are planning on, then I think that we need to revisit that, or at least make sure that it works. Because, I know that when I spoke to the DPW director today, that was definitely a concern that he and I shared. Again, that was built in the 1950s, and we don't at this point even know where that goes to. Well, unless a tree uprooted it, the pipe's crushed, we don't even know. Again, it was built when they built the high school in the 50s. So, so that's my main concern. I don't know if that is dependable enough to use as the main source of drainage. So then my second question, and then CEM, do they need to have to be involved with any of this because of that drainage and the proximity to the river?
I can answer this all together. Or
Yeah, and how's that?
Oh, I do have one other question, was we had spoke about it at the TRC, and, we had talked about this area right
Actually,
here.
oh,
Sorry.
no, you directed
Well-
us.
And then you asked the question. There we go. I'm learning. So right here, we had talked about, so right now, this is parking in this area right here. And, it's actually very utilized parking because the main entrance for the football field and the practice fields and all the fields is this entrance right here. This is not the main entrance for athletics. This is, so this area is probably your highest density in parking in the evenings, on the weekends. So, at the TRC, we had talked about making this parking area and maybe freeing up some of this if you needed, permeable, surface, thank you. And so I don't see a change in that, so I just wanted to find out where we were on that. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry? We do, yes, we have lighted fields. They do, we do need new lights, but, they are lighted. Thank you.
So I think the first question about the capacity of the existing pipe, so we have a survey that should be the pipe. We had our scientists go out in the field to take a look. I could confirm with them, what they saw. We were under the impression that that pipe would work, and we'll get into those details in the preliminary plan stage. So I think what I'm saying is we'll report back at preliminary plan with our drainage plan.
Yeah, and again, I think, the concern as well about that is the outflow. We have issues with the Chicken Mill receiving direct unholy outflow. That is something that can be handled, without too great an extent, but I think realistically, if we're this is the time to go with that and not let it.
I would imagine that CRMC will also have an opinion about that.
That is correct, yes. So CRMC would be has jurisdiction over the site. We had a pre-application meeting with CRMC a few months ago. We went through this plan with them. We explained that we are a redevelopment project and that we are ultimately decreasing the amount of impervious area. In addition to that, we are providing treatment of some of those new construction areas where we're disturbing within down to the livable surface. So they were in general agreement with our approach to provide stormwater treatment where we could and reduce the amount of impervious area, and that would provide the water quality benefits to the downstream areas. But in addition to that, we will need to confirm that pipe is adequate to handle the flow or explain what would happen if it's not adequate.
I'll just mention that for another project I met with DEM a while back, and our project is not in DEM DOT jurisdiction. DOT needs to find places to reduce runoff. And they've got a consent agreement with EPA apparently, and can fund some outside of state right-of-way projects.
Yeah.
So there might be a step up that could be done with DOT paying a portion of it. I don't know if you're aware of that program or not.
We've worked with DOT, with Lisa Richardson at DOT on those types of efforts. And she's been very helpful at identifying perhaps elements in certain projects where we could get some funding from DOT. The runoff from this site doesn't include DOT runoff from their right of way or discharge to their right of way. So we might not meet the qualifications to get funding from them. What they're looking for are large amounts of impervious to infiltrate underground, ideally.
Okay.
Whatever they can do to infiltrate runoff or provide a lot of water quality. But it is a good program. It's we've been able to incorporate a few projects across the state. I don't know that this would be a candidate, but we'd be glad to talk about it if they would.
To Tara's point, that other area for increased parking, potentially shifting, keeping the same numbers, but shifting from right to left.
Yes, so we had added a few more spaces over here, I believe, since the TRC. I think we're just showing 4 to the west of that entrance. We can see if more could be added. We understand that this is where everybody wants to get to that. It'll be in the north, it'll be in the southwest corner, one corner of the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, you could, it appears that could accept more parking and still maintain the number of spaces even if they're middle. This to me seems, this area to the east, that seems to be the one where they're going to be moving snow and has the potential to pond.
Yep.
So less parking there, more parking on the side. Work well with the plan. Great, thank you. Anyone else? Close the public hearing, make a motion to close the public hearing. Secretary, all in favor? I would assume that we vote on this one first. That's the call.
That's correct.
Okay. Based on what we talked about here, there were a number of conditions that were.
Sorry, everyone.
Free entertainment.
Sorry about that.
Are you sure? Want to go to the restroom?
No, I'm good, and I'll let you know in 5 minutes if I want to Excuse myself, so,
Okay.
sorry about that, everyone.
Like a yeah, but living daylights out of me.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, I'm glad you're.
You okay?
Yeah. Yep, sorry about
No, you. Okay, what I would propose is that we would, approve this, master plan, building dealing with this stuff. And so, and then our solicitor tells me that that's okay, I'll be in the minutes. The master plan will include those concerns that we raised, I'm sure you're taking notes I have as well, so, we would have that. So we made a motion to approve this with conditions to move forward with the preliminary.
So that motion's made to approve based on legally competent evidence on the record, that the proposed development is consistent with the comp plan, the proposed development is compliant with the standards and provisions of the proposed zoning ordinance, that there be no significant negative environmental impact from the proposed development, and the proposed development is adequate fiscal, permanent fiscal action for public street, if they meet all conditions that we discussed.
Right. So, what is the motion, second? Second, third, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right.
Mr. Chair, there's also, I would, possibly address, again, still with this application, the applicant is asking for a waiver of a requirement where, the next stage, the preliminary stage requires them to come forward with a CRMC approval in order to be heard, correct?
That's correct.
So they're asking for that to be waived, therefore they present a preliminary plan, certainly at that point, that as a condition. Correct, so that's what we, that's what we would have.
Okay, so we would, a motion to allow them to move forward with preliminary without, having the pre-CRMC approval, which would be a condition of our preliminary. That's the motion. Second, Tyler, all in favor?
And the second waiver that we have requested that should be in the packets, the waiver of the 10% landscape islands.
I would, for maybe preliminary, there was some conditions that were talked about, maybe things will change. Therefore, it will certainly give them that waiver at preliminary stage that will come up with. But the first waiver was to get to the second stage, so my recommendation is possibly get that, request. Unless that one gets.
And procedurally, that would put it back to master plan, as long as the board can provide that waiver at preliminary, the 10%, we have to ask for it.
You can ask it, it carries forward basically. It's still asking for the waiver, but it will be addressed.
It will be addressed again, but we are asking for it.
Correct, it's still on the application.
Right.
Yeah. Not gonna change anything procedurally for you?
No, we would like to just make sure we can, I don't have to go back to the master plan.
Yeah.
Or the
We're
waiver.
going to hear it, we're not putting the department.
If the board feels comfortable, then they can vote on it today. However, if they think that the technical thing is something that needs to be addressed, certainly, with that waiver, that second stage.
I mean, that, you know, I'd rather not have the applicant get it seems a reasonable waiver like that talking about the parking lot and student safety there. They are trying to create some green spaces that don't exist now. But, you know, our parking plan is designed for, I think, more commercial, and residential applications, but particularly commercial applications. A more unique situation.
I'd like to make a motion for approval of the waiver
Would the addendum that we can revisit it preliminary and
You can't, no,
certify that it be that.
you know, if you say you will give the waiver. He doesn't have to fill that requirement, he gave it at over 10%. Yeah, so you guys, we need to do it now. Further review now. Because I think it just, it moves the process forward, it doesn't confuse it. Later on, I won't, you know, not pull it out of our back pocket later, say, well, there's stuff.
Well, I'm going to be approved the waiver of the, green, parking lot.
Second,
Second.
it was the waiver, but with the islands that they proposed.
Okay, so it's approval of the waiver condition that they don't further reduce from this.
Our waiver, yeah, our waiver, 10% requirement to provide 10% landscaping. We're willing to waive that requirement. We have a master plan where we believe we can fit islands. We will provide a landscape plan at preliminary for everyone's review. This won't meet the 10%. It's not a new parking lot, it's a new parking lot, so we're trying to add some green, but we also want to provide ADA spaces and all the other elements.
Right, I just, not, I anticipate it being the case, but one of those scenarios where you get the waiver, the next 7 days, you know, like, so I don't see that.
I don't see that.
That's not good.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Well, no. You're right, I don't vote. So they can have some vote. Okay, thanks. Now, we'll take the poll.
Sure. So, Chico Elementary School, again, David Potter, Park Corporation, for the record. The site is located at 50 Asylum Road. So we're located, further down Chico Road, the new school, headed south. On your left-hand side, you would come to the Chico Elementary School. There are 2 lots technically in our application. The bulk of the work is happening on the southernmost lot that's shown here outlined in red. There is a very small sliver of pavement on the egress aisle of the north end of that lot. So there's really not much going on that northern lot. The lot to the north of our school is the playground, the park. Maybe you might be familiar with that. So the north is up on the page. We have Asylum Road to the west. We have the park to the north. There are wetlands in the wooded area to the east of the school property. And then there's undeveloped residential property to the south. We do have wetlands, like I mentioned, over here on the east of the property. Those are also within CRMC jurisdiction. We're planning to go before CRMC for this project as well. So what I have on the board here is the existing conditions plan. This view is rotated, so north is actually to the right. So Asylum Road is on the top of the page. The park is to the right of the page, and then the wetland is to the bottom of the page. There's an existing school building on here now. There are parking lots to the west and to the southwest. There's the main parking area here, large parking area over here. There is a drop-off aisle along Asylum. Asylum, as you head from north to south, gradually reduces in width until you're past the property where it's very thin road up over here. There is a other small parking area to the north of the building and a drive aisle that allows you access to the back of the school. To the east of the school here, there's a service area, dumpsters, utilities, and this drive will provide access, brings you right through that service area and into the playground. So the playground area consists of multiple play structures, a large paved area that's striped with different games and attractions for the students. All that's happening in the grass field, further to the south. There is no flood zone on this property, as there was on Cape View. The site is zoned residential 40, R40. Topography, everything flows, from the school to the west over here, so all this flows up to the west. There's a large stormwater management area in the middle of the parking area. It's all lined in crushed stone, the catch basin in the middle of it. And then everything to the east of the school pitches east towards the well. So the school is the divided property where we have runoff flowing towards the Silent Road and runoff flowing east towards the well. We are awaiting test pits on this site as well. We've identified a few locations in the field where we want to see more about what the soils are doing, so we can prepare our stormwater management design. So the purpose of the improvements that we're showing on this project are to improve site circulation. There are some concerns with the way the site is used, and I'll review those in a moment. Within the building, there are some interior renovations, and there will be the addition of the district offices. We talked about that during the last application. There's space in the southern part of the building that will be used for district offices. This door right here is where they'll be accessed. We have separate access from the main school. One of the two biggest concerns from a site perspective is the parent pickup drop-off arrival times. Just speeding up the circulation, reduce queuing in the Silent Road. That's the first concern. The second is that drive aisle that we have behind the school currently provides a lot of access through the service area right to the playground. There's no definition of the play space separate from the service aisle and service area in the dumpster. So you could have trucks coming back there after the dumpster, they could drive to the playground. And that's something that we're looking to improve. Part of the project. The capacity of this school, after the 5th grade moves out, will be 441 students. We are adding 19 staff for the district office. There is no new building. The site circulation pattern will be improved as follows. So we have, again, we're trying to separate parents and from buses and staff. So in the west parking lot, the plan is to, very similar to what we see today, is to have all the parents use this curb cut here on the Silent Road. That's an existing curb cut. Parents will be able to enter this curb cut, drop off their student in the morning at the loading area, which is provided on a new walk on the west side of the school, and then come out to this intersection, take a left, and head back to the Silent Road. In order to increase the size of the queue, there will be staff out here during the arrival period, so you can add a sawhorse, or you can have staff here directing parents to use this turnaround should the queue lengths get too long and start backing up into the Silent Road. So naturally, with this parking lot, you have the infrastructure to extend that queue. Even though people are staying back and forth, it keeps them off the road. The buses will enter this northern curb cut, which is existing today, and will come in this direction around the back of the school, drop off the students. This is the door that the students will enter the school, and then they'll be able to continue around and exit over. That's the buses. The control time, they're working for the school, they're following directions and following order. So the school, the buses would be back in this station. In the afternoon, when it's time to bell rings, parents we anticipate would be queued along this stretch here. And the parents will be queued here. A lot of parents will arrive early. We've got plenty of queue length. We actually have, from this point back, we have 1,220 feet. There's a lot of cars that we can fit in this line. The buses will stack. We have 10 buses anticipated on this site, and they stack back to somewhere around here. And this parking lot entrance will be uninhibited by those parked buses. We have plenty of space here to park those buses and have them sit in the afternoon. This parking area is a separate for the younger students for pre-K, and it's going to remain used for pre-K. There's no changes to that lot or to that arrival. Around the service area, we're going to repave the service area where all the deliveries are being made. There's existing dumpsters right here and, a few parking spaces here, there's some mechanical equipment here, and the loading area right here. So that's all gonna remain. The difference will be that, vehicles will no longer use this path through the playground, when they leave. They'll come in here, they'll turn around, and they'll go back out. It's very important as part of the plan that this stay a two-way roadway, so that they can use this end. So during the school day, if a vehicle arrives, to provide delivery or provide a for dumpsters, that doesn't go anywhere near the students. There will be a fence that's proposed, east of the school right here. That's shown on the plans right here, and that will restrict access. There will be a gate here, that will be infrequently used, and there will be a gate here that will be used regularly to allow the buses to move through the site and exit that itself. There will be another gate right here that will be regularly operated by the staff to allow those buses to get in. But during the school day, we'll now have a secure play zone right here. There's an existing playground here. There's a few other playgrounds here that we're working to keep within the space. This paved area is for recreation of those places. So Foursquare, all those types of games that kids play on the block. That'll all be right here. In total, we have 135 required spaces based on the number of students. We're providing 146 spaces in total. We have ADA spaces in this lot and in this lot here. The district offices are looking for their own visitor and ADA spaces. So we've added to this little turnaround here in Salem Road. We've added 5 spaces on the side of that, so that we can accommodate the ADA space and 4 spaces for visitors. And we're extending a walk from those spaces to that main district door. And that keeps the district visitor parking completely separate from the school visitor parking. Everything's separate. We've got district lot here, district staff and everything here, staff are up here. Everything's separate. We've discussed this plan with fire and police, and they're happy with the progress that's being reflected in this latest version of the master plan. They did ask that these gates be opened at night so that they can drive their cruisers through here and just check the area. That's something that the school has agreed to, but that's fine with them. We made some other revisions to the plan after discussions of the TRC that there's a lot of people who park on the grass along this edge here. So we're proposing to use, to implement maybe some boulders which are parking along that edge. What is the folks parking along that edge so they can get to the park instead of parking out in the lot over here. So we're looking to deter that by putting some natural cost-effective deterrents like boulders. Fire trucks have no issues maneuvering the site. Much of the maneuverability will stay the same as it is existing. They'll have access and keys to both of those gates so they can get through in case of emergency. Stormwater here, we also have a decreasing impervious area here. We're not really adding a whole lot, but we are going to be required per the stormwater design installation standard manual to provide some treatment. And so we have a number of smaller best management practices. For this area over here, we've got, we're looking at providing dry wells, dry swale. We have qualifying impervious areas, all to mitigate that runoff and improve water quality that goes to the left. This existing stormwater area in the western parking lot will remain as is. Not on that. There will be new lighting on the building that will help light this area here. We don't have any parking lot lighting proposed, but we do have wall packs on the building that will help improve lighting for security and safety. And then, as I mentioned, we will be determining this with CRMC. We are within their jurisdictional area, the wetland, not too far into the wood. So they'll be reviewing this for stormwater and for impacts to the well. And then finally, I'll run right through the waivers. We have very similar waivers we did for Hewitt. We're asking for a waiver to submit the preliminary plan application to start the review process to gain your feedback before we get the CRMC approval. That way, CRMC is reviewing concurrently with this board and the TRC. We're also asking for waiver of the 10% landscape islands. As you see, we're doing limited site improvements. There are some islands here, some already have some existing plantings on them. It's not the sea of pavement that you have. And then finally, we're asking for a waiver, the requirement to provide opaque fencing for parking lots adjacent to residential uses. So right now, there's a white split rail fence along the western side of the property. The park is to the north of this, and we've got some good vegetation. Imagine after leaves fall, you'll be see through, but parking, we don't see a need to put a big fence between the site and the playground area. We have the wetlands to the east, and then we have residential property to the south with pretty good cover of plants along that southern edge. So we're not proposing any fences there. Therefore, that one, we don't have to put in a
The line going up to the coal, you're following the existing road, you're creating a new road there, or an extension of the road.
over here.
No, up, yeah,
Right here, right?
well,
So this will be an existing drive, that's right there, yes. So there is an existing drive here, you can actually enter this curb cut right now or exit.
yeah,
And
I'm just a little down, but it looks as though there's no curb cut.
there is a curb cut right here.
Yeah, I just think it's important to make that clear, because otherwise it looks like the non-road.
Yeah, we're gonna use that existing curb cut, that's proposed to stay just as.
And those playgrounds are not used when school is not in session, the ones behind the school.
I think the gates will be open, I'm not sure what the school does to restrict, if they restrict access to those playgrounds. I don't think there is access restricted.
But during the time when the buses are running.
Yes, so, well, the buses are running during the school day, so the buses will be back here. So if the students on the playground at the very end of the day, even, the bus wants to queue here, they would not be in the way or within the playground area, that area is closed off.
Where are the students getting on board the buses?
This area right here. And we have 10 buses, so from this point to about here is about 400.
Is there a sidewalk?
There is, yes, so we're providing a sidewalk, we have 3 curb cuts proposed, that'll be flush with grade, they'll get on off the curb. Yeah, it'll all be new sidewalk.
And currently, when they're doing is, a lot of parents are showing up and parking on Peak Cole Road now, the way, as opposed to this, the circular system we proposed. So we'd be pulling people off the road and putting them into the parking lot. I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the school, I don't believe can dictate what people do on the roadway. Can't tell people not to park on the road, the parking is not restricted. But there are typically parents that do arrive at a lot of schools very early, sometimes more than 15 minutes or half an hour before dismissal. And we would anticipate that they would want to be in the site, in the queue, so they're waiting. An incentive for them to park on the property. But if someone's parking in Hugh Cole and then Sutton Road up here,
Well, down to the certain, if you don't want kids running across the.
oh, yeah, I mean, we can talk to the school, but this is an elementary school. I mean, the middle school, the same safety practices, but there'll be staff there for the students, to help the students get from the school into the class. And that's, the kids don't just, allowed to just walk. So having a parent park down here, down the street, I don't believe that would be allowed.
So is the administrative area ever used at night? Do you think the lights in your parking lot?
I believe there are lights in this parking lot. It's, anyone? I was out there today, I believe there are lights in that parking lot. The southern parking lot. One all the way down the end, so all the way down the end of the school property in the lot.
It shows up on satellite.
There are no like.
Yeah, I think there were.
Well, there's one at the north end of the Parkinson Island.
Yeah, I've got a light pole on either end of the survey.
Yeah.
Like here. Yep. I don't know how efficient lit it is, but it's.
Maybe you want to look at that.
We can look at, make sure it's efficient.
Yeah, in all of these lighting, we definitely want to have shielded lighting, the town put in a lot of street lights.
Yep.
Throughout the town, that are they're not shielded, and so the consequence, you know, it's like a big market parking lot. Neighborhoods, as opposed to, you know, a lit area, but not, you know, a further suburbs, and the northern lights are invisible.
We can, work with our lighting designer. I mentioned we'll provide a photometric plan during preliminary. We show the cutoff fixtures, the cutoff fields, and the dark sky.
This is a dark.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Yeah, were you planning on putting bold? Why not use something we make it more green and content for trees?
We can look at, sure. Trees instead of bulbs.
Is this shrinking the existing playground area in way?
So there is an existing playground, right here, a pretty large playground, that's gonna stay. There is a playground over here, and there's a dugout ball pit. I believe the dugout ball pit is being relocated out here somewhere. And then the playground that's here, there's been discussion with the owner about how we relocate that and what that gets repaired with. I don't know scale wise if it's the same. It's an older playground, so it's a few years old. So I don't know if it'll be replaced in kind or with something more modern. Playgrounds, we don't have our landscape architect here tonight to talk about playgrounds. The playgrounds are very particular. They change with times. There's different safety concerns that come up. So when you put a new playground today, it's not gonna match the one you did 5 years ago. Constantly evolving.
But there would be, an in-kind replacement within the structure of this.
There is a replacement. I don't know, when you say in kind,
Yeah, we need the same size.
same size, I think that's something we can talk about with the landscape architect. The goal is to provide the programming level for the students that need to be.
Right, it's always more important, we have quality and quantity.
Right.
At the same time, I don't want to lose a whole lot of green space and then not have it, you know, replaced, you know, in terms of the playground.
Right. I think that the plan is, and if you are, the 5th grade is leaving here, so the student count is less, so I don't know what that does with the playgrounds. Even when it's about the year, but that's something we can present at, one of the plans.
Again, I've asked your client as well, and that's to look at the number of cars versus buses, you know, how many children are being driven to school and how many are taking the bus.
It's a good point. I can tell you from working on a lot of school projects and throughout the state since COVID, we saw a lot of, during COVID, we saw a lot of parents up to bring their students in because they were afraid of COVID. And now it's taking a longer time for it to swing back to the pre-COVID levels for a bus versus parent drop off. I think a lot of parents got used to bringing their kids to school and not putting on the bus. It's taking some time to sort of reverse that. So it varies in each district. So I just,
I used to walk. No, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have much sympathy. No, but I do think it's important in terms of bond, both areas.
It makes a difference. The more you can enhance bus ridership, the better the traffic circulation would be. You need outline about how they're planning to, if they have any way to incentivize students. to do Sorry.
Anything else? I'll open it up, the public hearing, and motion to open the public hearing, second. Mike?
Hello, Karen Biddle, this is a community member this time, previous parent, and actually I built the playground that we're gonna take down, that I'm kind of upset about. Because the playground is, we raised all the money, the community raised money, and, and it is up to date. It is, still a standard playground that, Megan O'Brien built those. So, my question is, one, where would we be rethinking that, and would we be rethinking of the $50,000 plus playground 10 years ago? So that's gonna cost a heck of a lot more right now. So I wanna know where that would be going, where you would be replacing that to, because parents and community raised the money to put that in. And we did that, for Q-Pole for the community, and it is also used as a recreation site by the community when the school is not in session. So that somebody asked if those playgrounds are utilized by the public. They are, because you have the two-step pavilion, you have baseball games going on. So when people go to those facilities, they do go to Q-Pole School and play on the playground. The road, I am concerned with adding pavement to that area. When they put in the road originally, there was a big reduction in grass, because there used to be a lot more grass and non-permeable surface in that area. Then they did put in the access road when they built the new school from the new section. 3 years ago, I was part of a group that was looking at actually reducing the playground. So right now, the playground is a very large asphalt area, and we had actually looked at reducing that area and making it more grass, because we had taken away so much grass when we had put on the addition. So I'm kind of concerned that we're looking at adding more asphalt to that area versus, the grass, because another thing that was not mentioned was an outdoor classroom that's also in the area that they're looking to remove. And I know teachers utilize that space. Classroom, there's an outdoor classroom that's in that location that would also be removed. So that's also a concern, because you're taking space that, and again, we are reducing the number of students. A few years ago, we had 650 students in whole school, K-5. There has been a huge reduction. I think we're down to 500 now. And then we are looking at removing the 5th grade. So you're going to be down to 425 students. Yeah. But I don't know why we need, to be honest with you, this is just my personal opinion. I don't know why we're making it easier for parents not to put their kids on the bus, since we pay so much for transportation in our district. And why the buses cannot use the route that they used prior to COVID. Parents right now, still, that route that you taught, that was described to you, the new flow, it's utilized now. So the new flow, that's going to continue with this plan, and parents are still there at 1 o'clock, ready in queue to pick up their kids. That's not going to change. So I don't know if it's necessary, in my opinion, to add the road, this road, because you still have the dumpsters in the same spot. The trash truck is still coming in to take those dumpsters out. We could just, if you wanted, if that bus flow needs to stay there, just use the existing road, just fix it, because the problem is it was not built to be an access road. And it was built to be an access road. It wasn't built to have the traffic that it's on. And so that's why you're getting the potholes, and the surface is up, not where it should be. If you need to keep the route, keep that same pathway that you have now, don't put in a new one. Don't add more asphalt to that area. So that's my only. That would be my own request.
Why are we not in, the existing?
So the existing, first thing I want to point out, the existing, playground is here. So that's the existing playground, and then the existing, outdoor classroom is here. So the, existing outdoor classroom is gonna, that's not gonna be pulled out, so that stays in the plan. The idea with this new access road was to provide a way for vehicles to get around this. There's a lot of mechanical equipment in the middle here. It's really just to improve access, instead of bringing all the vehicles, so close to the school by this route. The hope was to bring the vehicles out and around that, the majority of that play area there. So,
Good question. You said the existing playground is like that, okay. On the drawing, it has most of the HMA area, definitely the basketball court and other things like that entire area.
This is all play area, but there's a playground that.
Oh, so you're just mistaken. It's a big playground.
Yeah, which was,
Yeah,
so a tower. Like that.
Yeah, it's a play, I guess we can call it a play structure. You know, there's a play structure in the area that I just circled over here. So all of this area back here is I guess, playground, the play area.
Right.
There is pavement, all here. I can, so here's the existing conditions plan, and the access drive is here behind the school. It comes into this, into the service area here. We have our existing dumpsters and mechanical equipment. And all the vehicles come right by here, and they come through the play area. So here's your basketball court. There's a metal funnel ball over here, playground just off the pavement over here. All this right here though is clean. So that's the extent of the limits. So from the line I'm tracing to the school is all clean.
You show us a new thing.
Yeah, so the new pavement goes from this point here and comes straight through. So it goes straight through on the other side of all this mechanical. So it's there to provide a more direct route to get around the school.
What's on there now?
That is grass. Yes, grass, a gaga ball pit here, and then there's a playground. That's the one. With this layout.
The reason for creating is safety, convenience.
Sure.
For convenience, so we actually, when we first started the project, we're actually more or less replacing it in time with that direction. It was requested, by the school building committee we were working with to swing the buses around the playground, because they felt it was a safer approach, for when the buses transition through and around. So that's why. Well, the idea is that the playground is dedicated to this location and the buses would go around it. We can definitely look back at keeping that same passageway through the playground area and maintaining that play structure. It just it was asked of us. The outside. With the layout that we have now. With the proposed layout, we'd have to look at some areas in these zones here.
Again, I think that, I mean, right now, having driven through there, the farm, this is essentially putting a road through two playground areas, as opposed to skirting the way that it exists currently.
What it's doing is it's dividing the hardscape play area from from the greenscape play area. So, as opposed to just driving directly through the middle of the hardscape play area.
And that's what they have to do, they go right through.
That's how it's happening. But, if it's preferred to do that, no. I mean, we do have the gates to maintain the safety during this time.
Driving through there, my concern. And basketball, with the walks. It's raining right now. So hot.
They don't really have, yeah.
No, no.
So that was the. That's
Yeah,
where-
it's got a runway, anybody can use it.
So the people that would be needing would only be buses, would be putting the sign in
It would, so the users of this road would be, during the school hours, would be the buses, and then the waste management trucks, coming to pick up the dumpsters, and then any vehicles providing deliveries. So for the kitchen.
they're turning around.
That's correct. Right, after the buses are done at the end of once all the students are dropped off, the last bus arrives and leaves, this gate and this gate are closed. And that area is off limits for vehicles until the end of the school day. Then those gates are opened back up, and then buses can come through.
So you open it at night.
The police talked about, yeah, that's the open at night, so that when they're doing their rounds, they can go like through the parking lot, make sure there's
A little bit there, sometimes.
an open during the school day. Yep, the gates allow our client, the school to close that off during the school hours. It's a measure of security and safety. But if, you know, we can, as Lisa said, we can look at this roadway, look at this access, and discuss it with our client and see if there's,
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to know the logic. If you could, you know, you block the road off, you know, following, yeah, and then you skirting out, but although we're going into the building, that's what's happening.
yeah, so you're right up against the building here,
I
which
see.
is what it is now, and then you're making that turn, so your buses are right up against the building from this way. That would happen when the buses are leaving, when they're exiting. It's not as straightforward of a route for the buses. I think what the client was looking for was just a straight route to get the buses through, and then have them further away from the school, so as far away from the school as possible. For the buses, so there's a space between, when you come out of the building, there's not gonna be a bus driving by you, but anyway, buses are, you know, whatever that distance is away. And you're correct in the statement that there is play structures on the opposite side of that route the buses would take, but the idea was to get the buses away from the school, right up against it right now. That's what we're trying to achieve with that new route.
I think one of the challenges I'm having is, even though you show the existing conditions on this plan, I'm having a hard time understanding it. And so I'm wondering, when you come back, could we have the proposed conditions put over a satellite imagery? So we can get a better feeling of what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as far as, the other reason for the roadway is just emergency vehicle movements. It was felt by, fire and police that this would help with larger vehicles, larger emergency vehicles to get around the site. I don't think I can say that it's not possible. I think it is possible for a fire truck to move through this space, but it was more, desirable to have that outer ring sort of, access. This is what the school is now.
I have
Actually,
I have a question. The part of the road that abuts where the basketball court, you know, what it shows, it looks like curve, is it curve or is it pavement? To distinguish, because it'll be, you know, like when the gates are shut, no buses are in there, is it flat?
Black.
And that's just like painted line.
That's correct, sorry, yes, that's a 12-inch, yellow painted
Oh,
stripe,
yes.
just to delineate the edge of where the buses should be driving when they go through that area.
And that stuff in that triangle where the loading dock is and the new road is, white triangle. with
Yep.
Machinery in there sometimes, or?
Yeah, there's, the dumpsters are in here, and then you have, some HVAC equipment. I'm not a mechanical engineer, electrical, so I couldn't tell you exactly what they do. All existing mechanical equipment that serve the school. Is there a generator in there too?
Generator, gas
Generator.
generator.
And it's showing.
I think we're wrestling with Tara's comments about the playground, and so I think when you come back, having a concrete proposal where the playground can be relocated effectively, I would be very helpful.
Well, I personally would prefer not to see it constructed above grade. And if that's the case, you know, could in fact the road be moved some and reconfigured so that the playground on one side, bus and the building, and possibly the building on the other, but not have the bus right against the building.
How close are the wetlands in the back there?
So we have, flags here. I believe there are more flags, but I believe they peel away over here. The existing tree line. No. The existing tree line is right at the edge of the LOD, so we're trying to not impact any of the trees there, leaving all that canopy as is. That's really our limit of disturbance. The only spot where we're going into the woods is to create better drainage outfall on that side of the development, right over here.
And was,
Lights fading in. We have a place to battle, so it's pretty good sometimes.
was some of the determination of the path of the new route determined by staying away from wetlands, or is there plenty of space there?
We are trying to stay away from the wetlands. So over here, we are within the wetland, I believe we're within their jurisdiction, over here, because that wetland edge
Yeah.
is right here.
Yeah.
It gets closer to the property as you move to the south. So I think there's a nature trail back here. There's the edge of the clearing is right here, right along the LOD.
What would be, from my perspective,
Right now, it's gonna all stay woods.
that's all wood.
Wood's gonna stay wood. Yes.
Yeah, I guess again, I think that, I'm sure that there are good reasons for the road being the shape that it's in, and logically, it would be nice to move it off, and create a playground area. Create and maintain a playground area there on the, south side of the bus route. Okay. You know, a consolidated.
Yeah.
I just, the idea of a bus lane through the basketball court.
Agreed. Yeah, I think what we could do is, I think we're hearing the concerns about the playground, being, relocated. And the question is, what is it gonna look like when it is reconstructed? I don't have a landscape plan as part of the preliminary. It's something that we do have a landscape architect on the team, and they are looking at all the play space and the programming required by our client. So I think what we could do, if it would be amenable to the board, is that preliminary provide a detailed landscape plan that shows the more details of the playground.
And also an explanation that the back road can be moved a bit to expand the size and preserve as much as possible the existing green playground.
Yeah, I think think we can agree with that. Yeah.
The question I have for you, that playground we've been discussing. So the people private fund. Is that, school property or is that town property?
It's on school property. So these are on school property, the playground. But, we can also agree to look at that access drive and see if, we understand the concern is to keep, the desire is to keep the playground. I think there's recognition of the idea, with some merit to keeping the buses on the outside of the playground area, if at all possible, outside of the paved part of the playground area. So we'll look to see how we can balance that, for the next stage. If the board members felt this was sufficient for the master plan.
Anything else?
Then how to. Wherever to the south,
Yeah,
along the outside for Side property,
it might be a way to do that. We are also trying to minimize our impact to the CRMC in cost as well. We're trying not to expand the footprint too much. The more we add impervious area outside, we're stuck clearing trees, requires more stormwater, which is,
you come down the east side of the building.
yep,
Along the south, you get that first, well, 20-degree bend.
right here. Yep, you're saying here,
Straight along the property line, then when you get to the end of the property line, then to the wrong.
we can look at that. The alternatives to keep the playground or to replicate the playground.
And playground fix.
I think, fundamental to that.
Well, again, I think, with the conditions as discussed, motion to.
This is still a call right, Aaron.
Oh, I'm sorry, is there anyone else? Sorry.
Kelly Savant, community member and teacher at Eagle. I am concerned about the pickup and the drop off at Eagle and listening, going back to the KMS. I get stuck in that traffic every day. Trying to get to school, I'm late. Parents are cutting in and out and trying to get through, as well as parents that are trying to get to queue pole early to get queued up so they can get their kid in school. I mean, kids are spending an hour in the car waiting to get into school. But when when they are picking up in the afternoon, it is dangerous. And I teach kindergarten, I'm out there with my kids every day, and I watch parents and they try to jump through the position, coming around that last, so they come in and move, and there's a corner down by the older building, the Mary B. Court side, and they try to come two at a time around to try to pass them up to kindergarten. It's like we've caught kids, just trying to step out or parents driving too fast. It's great. I know years ago we've talked about it as a school, come up with plans, but I think if we're spending the money, it really needs to be looked at for safety. And parents don't follow the rules. They do not follow, you don't park in the parking lot and cross the street to get your kid. They do it, the police officer's there, they spend time chasing him down, they can't do that. Then they notice he's not there, they park. And they cross in the street, and then the teachers tell them not to do it. So it's a huge safety concern, and I really think it needs to be looked at. I don't have any answers, but I think it needs to just really be looked at for the safety of our children. And like Tara said, the buses used to come that way. And there was a way to, I don't know, people need to put their kids on the bus. More than half of the kids get picked up. I would love to see them go on the bus, but.
Yeah, I mean, again, it looks to me like this is a plan to try to reduce the amount, both there and reduce the amount of that kind of chaotic, unstructured driving in and parking. Having seen it, and I've seen it, and I stayed away from cars for quite frankly, one and two o'clock in the afternoon. So, I mean, I do think that this has the potential in conjunction with incentivizing, students to use the buses to improve that safety factor. And frankly, if, you know, you have parents acting irresponsibly, then, you know, a heavier police presence may be necessary for a period of time. To, you know, because most parents do care about their kids. and
Oh,
aren't gonna
they're in
be-
a hurry and I gotta, yeah, so it's,
So again, you know, but I think has to be part of this process of our responsibility as a town to look at as well, in conjunction with these plans, which to me seem to be a way of creating a much more discreet and divided approach to the pick up and drop off.
it doesn't look any different than what we do now.
Yeah, you're talking about the people in parks. right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
the
that
cars.
part, you don't see, I mean, that looks similar to, other than the bus impact. Yeah, the buses.
The buses are up
Yeah,
front,
but, so if there's not buses, is it still,
it's cars, it's parents.
Do
And
they-
they go all the way to the parking lot.
just go the opposite direction and we,
Where is the bus going now?
In the back of the school,
How is what do you mean back?
they go in the same way they're going to in the back, over. I'm not
yeah,
really reading
they
stuff
go
like
around
that.
the same way, and then this continues back.
And then they'll go to the back and then they come out on the side, so they loop around the same way they're going
It's
to.
different. This is, yeah,
Right,
closer to the edge of the building. Yeah, I mean, there's a balance here, we're looking to preserve the playground area. at the same time. We're prepared to. On the parking lot?
In the front of the building, yes.
where it looks like a little crosswalk right at the front of the building.
But aren't there a number of cars that are parked along the pole as well? When,
Before pickup time.
so this is aimed at eliminating or trying to avoid that by putting in these two, right?
But you can't, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I don't think you can put them in the parking lot. And people still need to be able to leave, there's meetings going on till 2:30. You can't queue them up within the parking lot because there's cars there that need to leave. I mean, these are just questions I have some.
I think that's right.
No, I know. So the idea would, my understanding, is cars would be queued in their parking lot in the morning.
Yeah.
Or actually more in the afternoon, because you're gonna drive in, drop off the kids and food.
In the morning, so in the morning, we don't typically see a big queue, as big a queue develop, because the drop-off process in the morning is usually a little bit faster. You might hit a longer queue at one peak point during that period, but it's the afternoon queue when people are showing up and waiting. You know, it's the grandparent that shows up and starts reading the book at 1:00. Because I'm gonna go home and come back and sit here and wait. So I think in those instances, we've seen people, those parents who drive that early, either take an empty parking spot and wait there, and then when it gets closer to, when they see people start queuing, they'll get out and go in. It's really up to the school, how they manage, whether or not they'll allow people to join this queue until a certain time. I think that's really something to enforce. And then as far as using the parking spaces for queuing and allowing the parking area to move in and out, I think it might be helpful if the owner talks with the staff. If you know you need to leave early, use the southern parking lot for the day. And that is open for staff as well, I believe. So there'd be an option for them to use that southern parking lot. They know we're going to need to leave early. Otherwise, to stay out of that lot where all the parents are going to be.
Yeah. No reason to listen. Again, I think, you know, there is the alternative department. That would be able to be used by the teachers and staff who are at the store.
Yeah, the southern parking lot is certainly used.
Okay, and now, then nothing, I'll, make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Second, okay. Those opposed? And, well, again, I think with the conditions, I'd like to see the timeline plan. This process forward, something that impacts here without seeing what the alternatives are or slight revisions to the plan. It would also be helpful if, I think that what we're seeing here is a problem with cars. You know, we have people coming into the planning board saying, we don't drive their cars anymore, so we don't need parking spaces at parking. Which is clearly wishful thinking. The cars are there, but so are buses. This is, to me, based on what, one of those folks. But, what Alex said was, you know, you've got again, chaotic situation, talk about too many cars, bringing children here. We're also going to have the bridge across the Kickamilla designed specifically to save the school, so that the children from the western side of the town can come to the eastern side of the town safely without going on Powell Street. To the school. So hopefully this will ease off some of the pressure as well. But this is a good plan as long as the volume is reasonable. Then we can, and clearly we've got 440 students instead of nearly 600 that we used to have, so that's a significant.
There will be a reduction in enrollment from what you're seeing now. Yeah.
I was looking at the car count, the number of trouble.
I don't know that we have a number to count from our traffic engineer as far as number of parents versus buses.
Yeah.
We can have right now, we have to work with the fund.
Yeah, that's what it comes to during the month. They go a lot.
Yeah.
The car that the gate can go. And if you don't know how many there are, no way. Well. Okay, so, I make a motion, subject to, then, the
Motion to approve based on usually not that on the record with all of the or stuff. Planning board and the applicant, that the proposal, consistent with the comp plan, proposal is in compliance with the standard conditions of the town, on ordinance. Total by no significant negative environmental impact, and the proposal, as permanent with access to the public street. Well, we'll do the waiver then.
Oh, we'll do the waiver separately? Okay, so could I have a motion, to approve the master plan? Motion. Second, Mike, all in favor? Those opposed? Okay.
Mr. Chair, now I need a motion for the CRMC waiver. For the preliminary plan. One motion.
Okay, a motion for the CRMC waiver. We will, making the preliminary plan, about the CRMC. With the condition of our preliminary plan. Second, Jim Ledwards and Tyler. All in favor?
Chair, you need a motion for the waiver to require 10% of land upon lots.
landscaping waiver. A motion to allow that, Tyler, Rick, all in favor?
Mr. Chair, the last waiver asked by the applicant is that 2-107 was required, for parking, fence between the parking lot and the residential.
The motion is to, allow the waiver of the, pay fence. And a second. Third, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. You did a very good job.
Thank you.
Hopefully